come alive in the dark, and I keep getting stronger. Tonight I hunt with the pride. You can't take my pride away. I can sing with the birds and the trees in the morning, or roll like the storms way over the ocean. My limits the sky. I do the impossible, impossible. Shine if I want to. I win every time if I want to. The world mine if I want to. Make the world mine cause I want to. Even on the days when I'm late as ever, my timing is right. Even in the darkest moments, stay close, I'm that shine of the light. I can make an earthquake nervous, I can make the sun wear a visor. I can make a wise owl see me as a daily advisor. I'm that cool shade, peaceful night, and still my breath is a storm. I bet I can make the thunder clap when I perform. It's just that in the laws of nature, I'm breaking the rules. Only thing I'm bad at is being a loser. Hey, I can make time travel a surprise. Make graveyards feel alive. Break the immortal down to his demise. I make the moon blue, I make him pigs fly. Now I move mountains. I would have beaten the heart of a crash test dummy. I'm more so astounded. Yeah. Look up and beam to the stars so you can turn off the lights.
We are just a couple miles east of the LAX airport, just off the 405 or the 105 at the beautiful SoFi Stadium in Inglewood. Today, it's a Week 14 matchup that should be a good one between the Miami Dolphins and the Los Angeles Chargers. 3/4 of the NFL season are complete. What lurks in our final month? We're underway in Week 14. Noah Igbenogany from his end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And they are not going to catch him. He's in. Touchdown, Miami. And that right there is how you silence the home crowd.
All week long in preparation, visiting teams talk about it. Okay, we've got to start fast. We've got to take the crowd out of it, as you just talked about there. We've got to control the ball early. And in this case, forget fast start. This is a blazing start. What they've talked about all week is their offensive unit doing that. Not necessarily the guys returning the opening kickoff, but believe me, they'll take this.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. They started on the ground with Eckler. And he stopped right at the 25 after a gain of 5. This defense for the Dolphins, they were excellent in that win over the 49ers last week.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
He's airing it out for Williams. And the defense has it covered. It's intercepted. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. So a first interception thrown for him there, and that really not the best decision either.
Not at all, and that's something he did not do in their victory last week. No interceptions in that game, but this defense, they're able to take advantage of an early mistake. Now let's see if they're going to turn it into points.
Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds, and he's going to get stopped up quickly. Give him a yard down to the 43.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. Really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. From the gun, it's Tua. He's going to drop this underneath to Mostert. Oh, he's got some breathing room. Down the left sideline. Touchdown, Dolphins. For as big and strong as some of these guys are, especially when you see them in full pads, it is sometimes hard to appreciate how truly fast they can move. That was incredible. Sanders now to add the extra point. And it's good, and they have jumped out here to a quick 14-0 first quarter lead.
Dolphins 14, Chargers 0.
Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Chargers take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
Charles, it's kind of gut check time. Look, I know it's early, first quarter, just their second drive of the game, but they've already thrown the interception, given up the score. You're down double digits. They got to figure out something, and pretty quickly here.
No doubt about it. And when we look at that sideline, I'm sure you're observing the same thing I am. I don't like the body language at all. They look like they're in a state of stunned disbelief. So to me, we always talk about someone stepping up and making a big play. I think it would behoove them if multiple guys step up and make big plays right now. They need something positive to happen. They need for it to happen now.
A gain there of 12 yards and a first down L.A.
I have to admit I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works for you.
Down double digits, and we talked about their game plan being both running and passing there. You're right. They're sticking to the game plan, getting the ground game going.
A lot of football left to be played.
From the 44, Herbert. Trying to force it to Allen, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jerome Baker. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football.
Well, they're certainly not giving much help to their defense, are they? Because for the second time now, that D has had to run back out on the field early after an interception. And remember, on the last drive, the opposing side took it in for 6 after that interception.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. They'll run here with Raheem Mostert. And he's got it to about the 40.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Tua. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 22 yards there, first down.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Edmonds running out of the shotgun. And he gets it down close to the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling, and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it.
And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. It's a step in the right direction defensively here because you're facing this sizable deficit. They're going to need more plays like that. A good sack, though. Good effort there.
And what you're hoping is, as you said, a step in the right direction. And that means it's something to build on. So you get the first one, and hopefully that can ignite them. And now they can make a few more plays and get back into this game.
On 3rd down, they run with Edmonds. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And then the next breath they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up first downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and goal now.
Good work there, holding them out on first down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends. Now Tua going to try and sneak it. And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Dolphins take a 3-touchdown lead. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now 21-0.
Dolphins 21. Chargers nothing.
So how about this for a start? 21-0 here in the first as they kick this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Chargers take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going. And it's been a miserable start for them offensively. Obviously, 2 drives, 2 interceptions.
And this is where you have to know your quarterback and know how you actually have to reach him. Do you do it with a little bit of humor? Maybe you break the ice a little bit like, hey, didn't we practice in that color jersey all week? Not the one that you're throwing it to? Or maybe you have to be stern with it. But whatever it's going to take to get the message, it has to be done. He's putting the game in jeopardy.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Now it's Herbert. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards the pickup there. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. Herbert will give this one to Eckler. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down. 21-0 our score after 1. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Herbert. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
Now they'll need the 39 here for a first. This is 3rd down. Herbert. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. It has been about as perfect of a start to this game as these guys could have asked for, Charles. They've scored on their first 2 drives. They still haven't given anything up on the other side of the ball, so they can already make this a 3-score game here if they can come away with points on this drive.
Yeah, they're almost pushing them to the brink, aren't they, partner? Almost to the point now where it's a loss of words for me, which I know would excite all of our viewers, but you're just not supposed to see that type of dominance so quickly in a game like this. Everything they've done has been working so far. Offense, defense, you name it, it's going well for them.
From the 17, Tua. And Wilson with it, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 33 yards that time.
Well, you don't have to be a genius to watch this game and figure out they've had plenty of success moving the football here in the first half. We've seen exhibits A, B, C, and right on down the line, haven't we?
Yeah, we just saw exhibit Z right there. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Now that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Watch out now.
Now whistles and a flag, and I believe a Dolphin got going a little early.
Ready.
The false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. From midfield, here's Tua.
And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And he'll be brought down just shy of 40.
And they've used him in the passing game to great effect so far. And here they get it to him again on the screen, and it turns into a nice positive play.
Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1.
Strike 60.
They'll try and run for this with Moss. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And good hustle here as this is going to be blown dead right at the 9-yard line.
Absolutely love the flexibility of these punters. Their leg drive, able to get it way up in the air, and that allows their punt team to get down there and down it inside the 10 because they've had some time.
Here's Eckler to begin the drive. Showed some strong running, but quickly corralled just beyond the 10-yard line. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
On 2nd and 7, Herbert.
He dumps it to Eckler underneath.
And a short 3-yard pickup gets him up to the 15.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
The slot man in motion right.
Off the play fake to Eckler, it's Herbert.
He's going to look for Allen now on the deep ball. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
They've had multiple and still haven't scored any points. Felt like they wanted to loosen things up, throw it downfield, and see if maybe they could get a big play and a quick strike.
And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away.
Here's Hill on the return.
On that punt, we've got a man shaken up. More from L.A. in a moment.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line.
They'll start on the ground with Moss.
Yeah, he's got to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That's good for 21 yards and a first down.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They go back to the ground, this time Mostert. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
They'll run on 1st down with Moss. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
He'll get this into the hands of Mostert. And now a fumble. The ball's out and picked up by the Chargers. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. So the turnover forced and a wonderful job on a big return.
And how about the convoy that got created to help him get all the way back upfield? I mean, that's the part that people miss on. That's practice. That's worked on. It doesn't just happen in a game and everyone rallies. They discuss it prior to, and everyone knows their role when they create a turnover like that.
Line of scrimmage, the 9. 2nd and about a yard.
The gain of 9 brings up 2nd and a yard at the 9-yard line.
Justin Herbert looking to pass. This is swung out to Eckler. And the Chargers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Los Angeles. Austin Eckler, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Chargers are on the board here in the final minute of the first half. Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. The kick unit on here for the Chargers as they will send this one away. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with a 21-7 lead already in their hip pocket, probably not a time to get too creative or inventive here. We'll see. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run.
He was taken down at the 22-yard line. A gain of a yard brings up 2nd and 9.
So we've reached halftime here, and it's the visiting Dolphins taking a lead to the locker room. As we send you to our EA studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Chargers going to get the football first here in the second half, and they trail as we get back underway. From a yard or two deep, here comes the return. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
Charles, it'll be interesting to see what adjustments this offense made in the locker room. Haven't really been able to get anything going offensively, virtually nothing in the ground attack either. So certainly something has to change here in quarter three.
And I'm pretty sure their friends from the defensive side of the ball told them exactly that, because those guys, the stop troops, they've been playing pretty well, and they've kept them around in this game. Now they've got some time. The running game struggled in the first half. Opposition knows how to focus on defending the pass here. They've got to re-energize that ground game and maybe open things up for a comeback here in this half.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. And at his size, he's a smaller back. You can get him the football. He can kind of get lost, make someone miss. It's good for him.
Yeah, it's great for him. I like what you said there. Sometimes he gets lost in the traffic a little bit, but get him out in the open field into some space. That plays to his strengths the best and keeps him out of it where all the big boys are, you know, make someone miss in the open field.
And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a 7-yard gain and good enough to move the chains.
Well, part of their struggles in the first half was their inability to convert consistently on third down, but how about this well-designed play? Gave himself plenty of options and able to get the hook up and keep the drive going.
On first down, Justin Herbert. And this is caught. First catch for Keenan Allen. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Up the middle with Eckler. And a good run here as he'll rumble all the way down to the 40-yard line. Back-to-back nice plays, 12 yards that time, and a first down.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Herbert now. The ball comes out, and this is picked up by the Dolphins. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
So it's kind of more of the same offensively. This was a team needing to come out of this third quarter with a little fire. Instead, they put the ball on the ground.
And you know that has to be the discussion at halftime because they're down 2 scores. We got to come out with a little bit more urgency than we had in the first half. Now that urgency falls on their defense because they can't fall down 3 scores and hope to come back and win this game.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35.
56 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for first and 10. Moss on the give up the middle. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Asante Samuel Jr. there finding his way to the ball for a stop and a tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
Sometimes that's a danger putting that jumbo set out there. You just get a lot of bodies massed in one location. You could wind up with 18, 20, maybe even all 22 in the box, and there's nowhere to run the football.
In motion left here, one of their tight ends. On second and 12, Tua. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Jalen Waddle, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins are able to capitalize on the forced fumble by turning it into 6 points. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick.
No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25.
The Charger drive about to get going.
I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
One play has them up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. Now Herbert with it, looking to pass. Finds the open man. It's Mike Williams. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Another 1st down there as this one goes for 25.
That's another Chargers 1st down.
Back to throw here, Herbert. He'll drop this one off to Eckler. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Well, so far, little to no resistance by the defense on this drive alone. 3 passes, 3 completions, 3 1st downs. They're taking it to him, and it's paying off.
On 1st down, it's Herbert. This is caught. And so close, he gets it to the 1. Out of bounds right there.
A gain of 20 more yards. Complete to Josh Palmer. 1st and goal at the 1-yard line.
Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter. Trying to punch it in with Eckler. And he takes it in for a Charger touchdown. Austin Eckler with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Chargers are able to cut into this deficit here in the final minute of the 3rd. Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And that cuts the lead to 28-14. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Igbenogany going to take it out of the end zone. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Past midfield. 30. 10. And he will score. Touchdown, Miami.
Again, helping partner, I get fired up. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the same game. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, we call a lot of games in a lot of different places. Sometimes it seems like we do it simultaneously, but we rarely get to see this. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21.
14.
So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
The Charger drive about to get going.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball, and it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
Across the formation, he's got a man. That's Allen. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Well, defensively, they haven't let him just sit in the pocket and get comfortable. And that's opposite a lot of game plans in today's NFL. Ordinarily, you're trying to keep the quarterback hemmed in. In this case, they brought the heat, and if he flushes out, they're fine with that, and they force another incompletion.
Here we go on 4th. Herbert. And this is caught by Williams.
And he is going to have the Chargers first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the...
They'll fake the handoff. Now Herbert rolling to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Buried behind the line by Christian Wilkins.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
And Herbert able to get this one to Eckler out of the backfield. And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
And that was yardage that they needed there after the sack on first down. They didn't get all of it back, but now they look at third down as a manageable situation, one that they have a much better chance of picking up.
Flush to it, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Emmanuel Ogbah that time, able to drop him for a loss.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built up the efforts of this defense.
60 Eagles, 60 Eagles.
Fourth down for Herbert. Desperation time. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And the Dolphins are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball in a comfortable fourth-quarter lead. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
Well, they gave up a few yards there, but all in all, I think it's a pretty nice job defensively against the jet sweep. If they don't slow him up, he might take it to the house, so they'll take that play every time on the defensive side of the ball.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage.
Right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Now a run straight ahead with Edmonds. And he's going to be taken down right at the line. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Here comes Cohen. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today.
Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. To end the Dolphins now with a 1st and 10
at their 35-yard line.
On the counter, this is Moss.
And he is going to lose yardage here. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. But the converse is, though, you've got to win those one-on-one blocks. And when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42.
He's brought down at the 42-yard line. It's a gain of 8, and it brings up third down.
Okay, ready?
The Dolphins on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll try and run here with Mostert. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. It's a 40-yard punt, but they lose yardage on the return. And the Chargers will be backed up deep to begin their drive as they take over 1st and 10. The Charger drive about to get going. Even though they were able to force the punt defensively, still a big hole to climb out of, especially at this late stage of the contest. They fight forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down. Herbert off of play action. He finds his target, Allen. And they will get him down, but not before he gets very good yardage there, as that will lead us right into the 2-minute warning. That one covers 29 yards, 1st down. Here's Herbert. And he just gets rid of it, throws it away. A wise move there, looked like nobody open, now 2nd down.
Another throw there off the mark, and obviously he's battled all of the interceptions. Things just haven't been true to form for him. I don't know, what do you think's going on out there, CD?
That's a great question, and my suspicion is he's been coached really well to not show that he's having a problem. You know, they always tell you no matter what, you keep throwing the football with confidence. Well, we're not seeing a confident thrower right now. He's off balance, the passing game's off balance, and the defense is taking advantage.
To the air again, Herbert. And that'll be knocked away. It's incomplete.
He didn't just deny a big throw there. He broke that one up in the red zone. An excellent play, one that may help save points on the board when this drive is over.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Herbert. He'll get this to Eckler. And he'll be hauled down at about the 30-yard line. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice 1st down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution, even though...
And now here is another interception. And the Dolphins are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. I think you and I were a little surprised back early in the game when he threw his 2nd interception. I mean, who would have thought a quarterback of his caliber picked now 5 times?
It's beyond stunning to me because we're used to that with maybe a quarterback with less experience or less talent. But a quarterback of his caliber, I can't believe what we've just seen.
Absolutely. If you would have told me this coming into the ball game, I would have said never, not in a million years, but here we go.
Let's go now.
Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And it was a game where they were off and running in the first quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So for Miami, it's a rare bright spot as they move to 3-10 on the year.